Namaste. Mother used to say when things got a little too much or something, there's never a dull moment. There's never a dull moment. Yeah, well, I've got a dull voice. Wandering the hills and dales, the landscape of my life memory. It's not been very dull. Not been very dull. My first memory, or what I believe is my first memory, which I've remembered many times now, age 3 or 4, around the end of the Second World War, asking Daddy, how would we know if tanks were coming? Meaning military tanks. Probably some news article somehow leaked into my brain about tanks going into some city or something. So that, I believe, is my first memory. My first kiss, age 7, at the new house, the house at Lobel Court, distinct from the house at 175 Washington Street that I was brought to when I was born. So around the time of first grade. My first memory in that house, it was eating something, I don't even know whether it was warm or cold food, in the cold dining room of the new house at a round table that the former owners had either given or sold my parents. Perhaps my second memory in that house was at the first snowfall. This is probably very soon after that cold dining experience. And apparently, maybe because the house was cold or something, I was sick with something, some kind of cold or whatever, and not allowed to go out into the first snowfall. Oh my goodness. That was such a, oh. Well, what might be the third memory in that house, and is also very, very important in this landscape, was my first kiss. In the basement of the house, in the larger of the 2 rooms of the basement. Stairway up off to my left. This is my memory anyway. Or to the right, I don't know. This young girl, my age, my age, who had come to visit with her parents, and they were chatting in the upstairs, and it was probably cold outside, which is why we were shuffled off to the basement to play or whatever, and play me she did. Mouth on mouth kissing and hugging. Phew. How I wished she would come back. Oh my goodness. I think her name was Roxanne, and I'm not sure. And in our congregation there was a girl around the right age named Roxanne, but it wasn't her. Never saw her again. Wished, I'd say, until through teenagehood, that she would somehow come back. Ah, well, she didn't. What I think is my second kiss is Carol, behind the rhododendrons in front of our house. Pretty well hidden. And I don't remember why she came to the house, because that was rare, very rare for any kids to come to the house, but why she came, I don't know, but I expected her. I knew she'd be coming. And I made a ring out of tar paper, like roofing paper or something, I don't know. And I painted it gold, and on top, as a motif or whatever, I put a pick and a shovel, like gold miner. Why? I don't know. Maybe I think today, for the first time ever, that maybe this was a karmic clue for Carol. Well, I continued to kind of like Carol, but, nothing really ever happened after that. And then in 5th grade, Linda, dancing the Charleston up on the stage in the auditorium, the school auditorium, some kind of show where probably half the kids in the whole school participate somehow, I don't know. But I fell in love. Whatever. I fell in love with Linda. 5'2", eyes of blue. Oh, what those 5 feet can do. Has anybody seen my gal? Interesting voice going on tonight. Anyway. I don't think I ever said 2 words to her until... No, I don't think I ever said 2 words to her. At late teenagehood, I asked her, a mutual friend, if Linda would go out with me, and she said no. Not surprised. Oh well. And I'm still a little bit in love with Linda. I like the name, and the name also applies to the woman I fell in love with in Russia with the Hunger Project, and met again in India with the Hunger Project, and kissed at dawn at the Taj Mahal. I tried a little harder but that's all that happened. I even managed to rent as our hotel room, my hotel room, the bedchamber of the former Maharaja, with the walls covered with slightly spherical mirrors. Probably they could only make them tiny, with like by silvering inside of a flask and then cutting it, whatever. And I was hoping to seduce that Linda, but it sure didn't happen. And she told me about a boyfriend that she's currently, I guess, involved with, asking her, could we discuss exclusivity? And she told me that was it on him. That he could even think to ask me about exclusivity. He didn't get me in the least. He didn't understand who I am, basically, is what she was saying. Anyway, kissed at the Taj Mahal on the steps facing the shrine or whatever. Oh well, it's up to the Taj Mahal. And of course there are other memories of other women in my life between Sherry and Lydia, and then the one after Lydia. Some of those in-betweens were lovely adventures. I don't know how many of them ended well. Probably the less serious ones. Well, whatever. One of them ended with a nice, I think, bacon and scrambled eggs breakfast. Oh my. And that was just a one night. But it was pleasant. Ah well, my hippie time. My motorcycle time. Try to pick up chicks and find the next one. Oh my. I'm a little old for that now. Other early kisses, Nancy spinning the bottle, too soft and a little and mushy, and I'd run into something like that once or twice afterwards. And then another spin and Lois, and somehow that turned into a great love, sort of. I didn't find her very pretty, but I did enjoy kissing and hugging. Then she went away to camp and sent me a Dear John letter. I've met John, and I've met Dear John, and you'd like him too. Anyway. Then I guess, well, first year of high school, I was a star. Charlie in Where's Charlie? A Victorian drama or something, farce. And I was the star. And one of the cast, Ellen, just before the opening curtain of the first night, threw her arms around me, kissed me mouth to mouth, and wished me luck or break a leg or something. She was a theater nut. And I pursued that, but it just fizzled. But it was a lovely kiss. And touched me to the point where, for God knows what reason, I was putting her initials, EVB, on with decals onto wings or tails or whatever of one or more, yes, more than one model aircraft that I was building, EVB. And the other one from being a star was Nancy. Nancy on the porch at the cast party after probably the first performance, and or who knows, but anyway, smoking. This is age 15 or so when I started smoking, and maybe because of her, kissing me mouth to mouth. And I did drink, I think, a quart of beer that night. For the first time ever, I believe. I thought it would taste better than ginger ale. And I suppose I could say that it does, but I didn't think so then. No. Anyway, Nancy's kiss was also lovely and smoky, the first smoky kiss I ever had for sure. And for some reason that reminds me of Lou, a man, seminar leader at Landmark Education Corp. Or maybe it was still Est, I don't know. But he was at least somewhat quasi-sexual, and he kissed me on the mouth once, which was just a little weird, but not not bad, not great, not bad, just 18 minutes about memories about kissing. So. And there were some lovely women in between that was more sexual than kissing. So never a dull moment. It's a little dull now. There's no woman in my bed right now. But c'est la vie. I don't think they need me. Ciao.